Before we get into today's episode, a quick announcement. And don't worry, it's not one of those dramatic messages that starts with, "We need to talk." If you enjoy the way I break down English, talk about life, and guide you through tricky language points, imagine doing that one to one in a relaxed atmosphere where improving your English actually feels natural. Yes, I'm talking about private lessons with me, Zdenek. Think of it as chatting with a friend who listens, who asks questions, and who genuinely cares about your interests, but also is an English teacher who gives you proper, structured guidance and won't let you get away with grammar mistakes and pronunciation errors and vocabulary slips and all those things. Each lesson includes feedback. I always keep track of what's happening in the lesson. I make notes about your English, whether it's pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar. I write down the mistakes you make. And then all of this you can revisit as homework and you can correct yourself, and then we can discuss it again. And this is the idea, everybody needs that feedback in order to push their English to level up, right? So after each session you will get a document, a Google document, I should say, and we will be working together like that. This is all because I believe this is a really good way to improve. Also, my lessons are conversation based, so it's always a chat really about life, your life, if you want my life, life in general, the world, the news in the world, or interesting. I don't know. For example, if you're into football like me, we can discuss the games of your favorite team, whatever you want. Really, I don't really mind. For some of my students, I'm a psychologist, so if you want, we can discuss your or my private life too. That's all part of the lessons, really. So if you want to boost your fluency, build your confidence, and actually enjoy the learning process, none of the stuff you got at school when you were younger and when you were happy to be out of the class, right? We were happy that the class was over. No, I want this to be enjoyable. I want this to be fun. I want you to be satisfied with the service that I'm providing. The only thing I really care about is a satisfied client, yeah? So, hopefully this is something that could interest you. If that's the case, send me an email at teachersdenek@gmail.com. Say, "Hi Zdenek, okay, let's try. Let's have weekly lessons, and please help me push my English, please. Let's level up my English." Right, I know a lot of people have been putting this off. No need for that. I'm here for you. I'm here to push you guys. Okay, I think that's enough. The announcement is done. You made it. On with the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Zdenek's English podcast. My name is Zdenek Lucas, and this is my podcast. And I also have a guest, and it's none other than Jack T. Hardy. Hello, Jack.
Hi, Zdenek. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm all right, thanks. It's been a while since I recorded a podcast, and it's been a while since I talked to you.
It has. It has. And you're back in Czech Republic.
I am for the summer, although I do live in Vietnam over the year. So it's nice to be back. But I have one issue with recording this episode, and you know what it is. I seem to be too dark. I've been trying to find the right angle here, but it's just the camera is showing me in dark mode for some reason. But it's good. It's fine because we have Jack here to brighten everything up.
Is my voice okay? Is the sound not distorting or anything? Is it okay?
No, I think it's perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Also, we can let our audience be the judge of that. Our listeners.
Yeah.
Well,
We should probably remind our listeners who you are, Jack, because you are a returning guest. You've been
I
here two
am.
years ago. You were on the podcast 2 years ago. You've been here before.
Yeah.
And you are my ex-colleague and a fellow English teacher. We used to work together or we used to work for Speak Up London,
We did.
which is located in or on Oxford Street in London, right?
Yeah. Otherwise known as Living Hell.
Is that what you used to
Oh
nickname
man,
it?
I remember walking because I love Speak Up. I think they're
Oh,
just
you mean the Oxford Street, not
yeah.
the school? Yeah, okay. So
No, the school was great. The street is just hell. I remember walking to work, and for some reason, people just walk in slow motion.
yeah,
And when you've lived in London for, like, let's say, I don't know, because you arrive in London, you're like, oh, everything's amazing, da, da, da. And after sort of 6 weeks or whatever, that your eye of the tiger kicks in, and you just think, just everybody get out of my way, or I'm gonna
yeah.
kneecap you. And so yeah, I just remember that on a daily basis. It was one of the reasons I left. I was like, I just cannot deal with
Because
walking through crowds
okay,
anymore.
I see, I see. Maybe if they had invented a teleportation device, you might have stayed.
I think, yeah, possibly. Or I just commute from Winchester. I mean, I live in Winchester now. I love it here. So,
Yeah, I remember you telling us that 2 years ago that you live in Winchester,
yeah, I still
which
do. So it must be working.
yeah, 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 absolutely. And so apart from you being an English teacher, just like myself, you are a musician. And the episode we recorded 2 years ago was about something really interesting because you had actually made a soundtrack for a board game, right?
Hi, my name is Mila. I'm from Spain. I like Achiever's Chamber because I can practice my English daily, have fun and real conversations with interesting people, and all of that without leaving the house.
You had actually made a soundtrack for a board game, right?
Yeah, it was for Damnation, the Gothic game, which was a
Yeah,
Kickstarter project by Black Letter Games, and I did the whole sort of soundtrack to it with uh, music, like orchestrated music,
that's right.
voices, ambience, all that sort of thing. It was huge, huge 2 years work actually. It was just unbelievably big
And
project. But
and
I'm actually
and
really pleased with how it turned out. Actually, I
and I have to say the episode itself was very popular as well. I got a few people talking to me about it because some of my students actually listened to my podcast, so they said that you were a really cool guest, and I think the overall atmosphere was good because we also played some of the clips from that, and
we did. We did, yeah. I
yeah, it
was.
was
It was a peak point of peak creativity at the time. I was
probably
absolutely locked in. It was quite amazing. Actually. Quite
probably the
amazing.
peak probably the peak for Zdenek's English podcast as well, if I'm honest, because since then it had only gone downhill. But
Well, we can bring it.
I don't know, probably not. But uh, it was at the time that I used to record more often, let's say, than I do these days. But it was episode 443, so it is available in the archive of Zdenek's English podcast.
Which episode? 400 and what?
443.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got the thing is with that is you cannot maintain on your own that peak level of creativity. It's incredibly difficult to maintain it for a very
unless
long period of
unless
time.
unless it becomes your job, unless you monetize it and you get paid for it, then yes. Because if it's your job, right, then because it's not my job,
Hmm.
I may have found a few students, let's say 2 3 4 students,
Yeah,
because of my podcast, and it helps my sort of, let's say, it gives me some sort of online presence, and I guess it helps me in some way, but it doesn't directly give me any money, right? So
this is
yeah,
this is unfortunately I have been doing sort of music and artistic endeavors since I can remember, and unfortunately the large majority you pay to play.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible to make money
exactly.
unless you hit oil
And
with something so revolutionary, which is
and
rare, or you have a big company behind you.
we just do it for fun. I think we are quite like-minded individuals in that sense. We both creative in some ways,
I'm
right?
not. I don't know if it is just for fun though. There's often a question of what possesses people to create. What for example, I used to perform in London and stuff, singing on stage and stuff. What possesses someone to do that? Why would you ever want to stand up
Yeah,
in the spotlight and everybody looking at you, and it's
yeah.
really stressful and it's really nerve-wracking every
I think
time.
it's
It's
like a
nerve-wracking.
challenge for us, right? Maybe we
Yeah.
challenge ourselves. Maybe deep down we are like nervous wrecks, anxious people, possibly. To be honest, I didn't used to be very confident when I was like in my high school. Like whenever I stood in front of the whole class, it wasn't my favorite thing to do, to have a presentation.
No.
But then I ended up being an English teacher, and that's what I do all the time now, right? And I have to be confident, and I am. It's been a journey, and I think maybe you just sort of like faced your fears, right, with that.
I really, really believe in that. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
I have a sort of thing that I do. I try to face a fear sort of once a year. Try and do something that I'm really, really scared. So this year was canyoning, like jumping off waterfalls and stuff. Because I
Oh
love
my.
doing it. I'm really scared of heights, but
Yeah, me.
you just got to keep pushing yourself. So we did it.
I
We
hate
went to
that.
but
No, thank you. I would say no to that, but yeah.
It's awesome though. Jumping off waterfalls is like the most. That and skydiving. Skydiving is literally the craziest thing you can do. But
Yeah.
jumping off waterfalls is just slightly lower on the
Mm.
scale. It's great. Everyone should be jumping off waterfalls every day.
No, thank you. I know of other things that might be more useful and less stressful to me, and I can still overcome myself, such as I've learned to ride a motorbike now because of Vietnam. It's something I had to do, so I can ride a motorbike. And that was a fear I overcame. I even spoke about this on Luke's English podcast. I was invited by Luke and we made an episode about it.
Do you
So
still
that's a
get
little,
scared? Do you still get scared when you get on your? Is it like a dirt bike?
like a small motorbike, I'm not scared. I wouldn't say I'm scared. I have like sort of respect the vehicle, and respect the traffic and the people. So it's not like it's the most enjoyable thing for me to do, but it's just something I had to learn, and I think I'm comfortable now.
I learned to drive late, very late.
Yep.
I got my license when I was 39, something like that. And
Yeah, you see, very similar story.
yeah, and it was and even now, because I got it late, I didn't have that young boyish
Yeah.
immunity to fear that
Yeah.
you have when you're a kid. And
Yeah.
I view it as an adult, and every time I get in the car, I'm like, this
Oh.
could be my last day, or this could be someone else's last day. And I'm super, super, super careful. I think it's a very good way to do it because
I think it's all right. I think it's all right. Like as long as you keep developing and you have this healthy attitude, I think you're fine. I think you will be accepted by the drivers community. We don't have to be the fastest, right?
No, and
No.
you look like a bit of an idiot when you do, sort of speeding doesn't look cool, really.
Not for me. It does look cool for some people, but not for
It's
me.
cool
You won't impress me by that. Yeah.
No, if you could put your foot down a little harder than everybody else, and that's supposed to make me impressed. No.
We actually have a politician now that has been involved in a scandal because a while back he posted something on his social media of him basically speeding, going over like what is it in miles? Over definitely 200 and something miles per hour, and that's forbidden in the Czech Republic. So he was actually lying about it. He was lying about it. He said it had been done. He had done it long time ago, and in Germany where it was permitted.
Where it's legal.
But then somebody, now we have Google Lens, yeah. So somebody actually sort of noticed some features of the roads, and they realized that it was in the Czech Republic. So now this guy, it didn't help his political campaign because the elections are coming. So, but yeah, I don't know how somebody can think that this is something to be proud of, but some people do.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Exactly. But yeah, so you are a musician, but that's ironically not what we are here to talk about today. And I want to tell the whole story. So for this is a proud moment for Zdenek's English podcast. It has happened here in the past, but
Okay.
let's say 90% of time it's me who invites guests on Zdenek's English podcast. Yeah, it's me who has to take the initiative.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was the guest himself, and that's always very very proud moment for the podcast. Can I read the WhatsApp message you sent me, Jack?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Of course. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, thanks. So you said, "Hey, dude," which is something I really like. Is it something that British people say? Isn't it more American? I noticed you use it a lot.
Yeah, it's a California thing, but there was a sort of strong. If you grew up in the 80s like me,
Yeah.
the power of, you cannot underestimate the power of the United States in the 80s.
Yeah.
It was like the golden chalice. It was the standard by which all else was judged. And if you grew up in England, which is pretty grim in the 80s, and then you got Baywatch, and
I remember that as well.
absolute utopia. We were just sponges for this. So we sort of had a bit of a crush on America, and you would find yourself just using Americanisms. I mean,
yeah.
And
So
it got a bit uncool in the 90s because there was a wave of British pride in the 90s with like Britpop and Spice Girls and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it sort of came back in vogue in sort of around 2000, for me anyway, about 2008, where it became slightly ironic, which I guess is my excuse.
But most British people, they just say, "Hey, mate," yeah, or "Hey."
Yeah.
Even buddy, I would expect it more. But dude, it's yours. I know you do that. But anyway, let me continue the message. So, hey, dude, how's it going? Saw Kieran on the podcast. Kieran is another friend of ours, another English teacher that used to work for Speak Up London at the same time we did. And he had written that book, right? The Buttery Life, and that's another podcast I did with Kieran and his friend Nick, I think his name is. And now I've recorded something else with Kieran, yeah? and you noticed that. I think you saw it on my YouTube channel or something, right? Because this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is also available on the YouTube channel, even though you're gonna see me very dark there, but it's still me, I promise. But it's Jag who brightens it all up there with his lovely plant and bookcase in shelf with some books, making him look very smart.
Yeah, this is not my office. It's my wife's. My office is in a
okay.
and it's a complete mess. So I'm just kind of decorating at the moment. So
Right.
that's I'm in this very calm room.
Okay. So Kieran, so you saw Kieran on the podcast. Very nice. If you need an interviewee, I've just done some voice acting and script editing / writing for a video game called Soulstone Survivors. Thought it might be an interesting chat. Hope you're well, mate. So you said mate at the end, actually. Yeah. Good. You balanced it. So this is lovely. Obviously, I've jumped at the opportunity to have you back on the podcast, and I think it's a great topic. And so now it's a video game. So before it was music and board game. Now it's a video game and voice acting and scripting, right? Script writing. So that's a bit different. Wow. So how did you get into this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've pretty much made peace with the idea that I will never be a careerist. I think I just am far too fickle in my focus to devote to any. Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
And I have certain sort of bucket list things that I always wanted to do, and one of them was write a soundtrack. any sound. It didn't matter what it was, but it had to be a soundtrack. It had to be classical music, because I can't read music, and I can't arrange music. Well, I can now because I had to teach myself, but it was one of the ladders that I wanted to prove to myself that I could climb. And the other thing was to be a scriptwriter for something, and to do voice acting. I've always wanted to do that, because I just on a daily basis just talk in different voices, just on my own. It's a very strange thing to do.
Like in your head, like you have voices in your head.
Out loud. I'm
in your lessons.
No, well, in the lessons as well. But I have a fascination with accents. I'm addicted to them. I think they're so interesting.
That's another British thing. Like the Brits are really proud of their accents, right? So
yeah, we are, and we have so many different we have so many different accents per 100 square meters. Like,
that's true.
It's such a bizarre concept of England and all its accents, or the UK. And I find it fascinating that if you change your accent, you change everything changes. Like your entire physiology changes, your thought patterns change. Just that one little tiny flick can have huge impacts. I mean, if you look at, let's say, for example, I'm getting a bit abstract here, but if you listen to Icelandic people when they talk, they kind of sound like ice on mountains.
Rough people, and like this cold. The humor as well, right? The sort of.
So look at like for example, like any Nordic languages, they sort of reflect the environment that they're in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And if you're talking French, you're just going to be naturally a little bit more flamboyant. Your voice is going to go a little bit lower. You become a little more indecisive.
By a baguette, and
you just become a little bit more sort of languid about things, and English become a bit more clipped. So I've always been absolutely fascinated by that, and inflection, and the voice just generally as an instrument, because I'm a singer as well. So it was always something I wanted to do. So shall I tell you like how this all sort of?
No. How did you get an offer from someone, or did you actively search for a job like this, or?
No. So I have a friend of mine owns a computer game company, a small video game company.
Nice.
He's from Brazil. It's called Alan Smith, which is the least Brazilian name you could imagine. So he lives here and with his wife
in Winchester. In the same.
So we have a very strong circle of friends here.
Wow. Okay.
There's a few Brazilians in Winchester, but weirdly, you wouldn't equate that. You wouldn't.
That's nice for your wife as well, because she's Brazilian, as we know.
It's great, yeah, and but they're not typical Brazilians. This is the thing. They've moved here, right? So if they were typical Brazilians, they'd probably stay in Brazil, but they're not. They're all slightly less exuberant, a bit more reserved, a bit more sort of thinky about things, and contemplative. So anyway, they live here. Long story short, and I've known Alan for a few years, and he sent me a message saying, I've got this game, and I knew he'd created this game years ago. Actually, I remember I was one of the guys that was like, do this, go.
You were pushing him. Yeah.
Well, he started his own company. I was like, do it now. This is the time. Strike your own path.
Yeah.
So anyway, he texted me like a few months ago. It was a very short time ago, and he just said, all right, so with my game, we have this entire world, and we want someone to, we have this lore, LORE, not LAW. So
lore, like it's like the sort of like the culture and the world, the habits, the customs in that world. It's like Lord of the Rings lore, right? It's like yeah.
So they had all this lore prepared, and they said, we want to give the characters lines. There's always different characters you can play.
Wait, hang on. So what kind of game is this? So
it is a semi-top-down. It's sort of a top-down, but it's a slight angle. I don't know what the technical term is for that, but it's kind of, you're not quite looking bird's eye, but it's kind of like slightly on an angle. You are essentially it's very simple to explain, but it's obviously difficult to master. But you are a character. You have waves of enemies that come at you.
So is it like a tower defense or something?
Yeah, but then you're not defending a tower. But basically, what you're doing is you're smashing these enemies, and then
they're coming from one direction only.
all directions. Like, and you.
Okay. So is it similar to Path of Exile or Diablo or something?
I have no idea. Diablo is a third-person one, isn't it? Or is it?
No, it's also top-down.
Oh, okay,
so
fine. So maybe something like that. So, but you have enemies coming at you, and you have to kind of move around. And as you kill them, they drop these little soul stones, and you collect them, and then you level up.
Isn't this called slash and move or something? There's
I don't know.
Something like that, right? You basically slashing your enemies one after another, and they're dropping items. You're collecting items.
You're looting.
Sometimes you're crafting things, and then you're buying, selling, and stuff like that. And you're healing yourself, and you can have different. You choose a character, so maybe you can be a wizard, and then
so
you finish the game, and you want to play again. For replayability, you are a rogue.
Yeah, so you can build your skill tree, and it's all very.
It sounds very similar to Diablo, actually. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
yeah.
So not my kind of game at all, right?
I like these games, actually.
For me, I'm much more just sort of slow, emotional.
Okay. I have a soft spot for these. I haven't played. Well, the last one that was close to this was Baldur's Gate, but that one is more.
Is similar to that kind of thing. But
Baldur's Gate, you have more characters there, and it's very story driven as well.
So Soulstone, as you can play, I think it's like something like 18 characters. It's nuts, but they all have a different archetype. So I think it's about 18.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Or was it 20? Anyway, it was a lot. So I had to do help with the lines. But so basically, you have these characters, and in the game, you are you choose whichever character, and you are a member of a group called the Void Hunters, and you go to different levels, and you just beat the hell out of these bad guys. You level up as you go, and then by the end, hopefully, you've sort of got enough to beat the bad guy, to beat the final boss. Right? It's a huge thing.
And is there any story to it? Because like some of these games is just about like hitting enemies, but is there a story to it as well? Do you make choices and stuff?
So with the lore, I spoke to the guy who designed the lore, and he's called Mauricio. He's such a. I mean, the whole team's really nice, but he's just sort of extra nice. And we sat down for a couple of meetings, and he was explaining the lore, and I was like, this is quite frankly terrifying amounts of detail. Like it was, he showed me a sort of timeline that, I mean, this guy must live and breathe this. I understand, because I was the same with my soundtrack. I knew every single note across the 2 hours. But he had just designed this entire, from creation to now, right? And it's like, he told me, he said, right, so in the beginning there was nothing. And then it's mad. And then the three elements, something like, I think it's like fire, water, and earth or something, join together. They are joined by the almighty creator, but then they split apart. And if you get 100 and divide it by 3, it's 3.333 recurring. And there is a tiny fragment left that you can't add up if you split 100 into 3. He said, and that fragment becomes the evil void. And I was like, this is amazing.
That sounds good. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Then he talks about that there's a war. None of this isn't. He talks about there's this war, and then there's other factions, and then there's another one. There was the end of it.
So are you on the good side then, like fighting the evil? Like all of the characters you can pick are on the good side.
Yeah, some of them are more sort of anti-hero-y.
Okay. But still trying to beat the shit out of that evil.
So basically, he had created this entire universe. It's amazing. And so my job was to come in, and he had written lines for each character, which are triggered throughout the game as you're fighting, and certain cutscenes and things like that.
So it's like cutscenes, right? Okay.
There's 2 or 3 cutscenes, but they're very much integrated into the game, so it's not a huge change in perspective. You're still looking down.
So did you write these lines, or did he have something in mind and you just perfected it?
he had written loads of stuff, right?
Mhm.
And like this, something like we ended up with over 3,000, or what was it, 3,000 lines or something. It was just insane amount of it. What? No, maybe that's right. Okay, so it's 20 characters. I think it's 20 characters, and they have 160 lines each, and then there's some cutscenes as well. It's just whatever that is. It was a massive amount of work, and so he had the idea was that they wanted to create an opening scene where they could explain kind of what was going on.
Yeah.
And then you would be a tutorial that would kind of give you a little bit of lore, and then they would kind of let you
Teach you how to play the game a little bit as well.
and then suddenly that sort of ends, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's how that works, and this is what my job is, and then they sort of let you run wild for the rest of the game, and then it kind of closes at the end. That's pretty much what we were given license to do. He said, they were quite clear. They said, look, this is not a lore game. This is a game. This is a fun game, but we want to give it enough lore to make it feel grounded and that it has some sort of story to it. So we had to write an opening. As you know, all the characters had to write a tutorial where he'd written a load of lines, but English is not his first language, and he'd done a fantastic job, but he wasn't quite. It wasn't tweaked perfectly yet, and so my job was to sort of come in and say, right, that doesn't tonally work, or that's slightly.
So you were an English teacher again.
Yeah, but also
you capitalized on your English teaching experience.
So it was English teaching. It was also just I read a lot. I just finished reading
proofreading, a little bit of proofreading, basically.
Proofreading and script editing. I had to rewrite quite a few of the lines because they just didn't sort of fit.
Yeah.
I mean, poor guy. He'd been working at these lines. Eventually, your brain just kind of dries
but
up.
How about AI? Could he have also asked AI to help him with that? Now these days, right?
Possibly, but I don't really.
Well, at least for the proofreading, right? Like to make it sound more natural, maybe in English.
Yeah, maybe. But I think they just wanted to steer away from that, and I fully support that. I think AI is
a killer of creativity.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure it will be a good tool in the future. In the same way, they said the same about DJs. They don't do anything; they just play records. And well, we saw how that turned out. So, maybe it will in the future. But as it stands now, I find it quite a worrying.
It is
development. It's like anything. If AI is sort of, it's the journey.
Kills the authenticity, and there's just it's
not creating. That's the problem. It's copying and pasting.
And yet it feels like it's creating something. That's the problem, because it gives you that feel anyway. Like I feel like that. For example, I use it to create music sometimes because I can't.
You use AI to create music?
Yeah. There's a service called Suno, which is pretty cool. For you, it must be, you must hate it. I think you.
I hate it already. But how do you do it? I mean, I don't know anything about it.
Well, what I do is I write the lyrics. You can even ask it to write lyrics, but I absolutely hate the lyrics. So I use it for my other podcast, for the Czech podcast, to practice vocabulary that I'm teaching. Because after each episode, I create an extra episode for the subscribers, so for the patrons of the podcast, and I teach like some selected vocabulary from that episode, and then on top of that, I create a song. So I write the lines of the song and the chorus and all, and including all the vocabulary. It's always some kind of a cheesy song, but at least it's my creation, because I don't like what AI does. So at least it's mine.
And it turns it into a melody?
And it turns it into music. You can even choose the genre. And basically, you let it create music, and maybe you listen to 10 different ideas, and you like only one of them, right? So it's and it's not perfect, but it's pretty good, I would say. I can show you more later. But
I would love to hear it, but I think it sounds to me like, I mean, it's different because you're using it as a tool to achieve a certain thing that you wouldn't have been able to without it, right? So
I think some people publish it as well as I think there have been already some like law issues with that,
I mean, the problem with that is that you've got to, you got to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I making music? And to me, it sounds like people are looking down a telescope the wrong end. Why do you make music? You don't make music just to make money or for people to listen to. That's one part of it. You make music to channel. It's a sort of funnel for your soul, emotion.
And it's
Cool.
also kind of cool. It's cool. I can't help. It's just cool. Like you make a song like this. It's super quick, just out of nowhere. It's not perfect, but it's just it's something.
I
like the randomness of it as well. Like it's some of the songs are horrible, and some of the songs sound amazing. And you can choose any genre you can imagine. It's fascinating, but I also understand that it could be a bit scary or cringy for some, especially for someone like you coming from the music.
I mean, to be honest, there's plenty of pop music or music that I would feel the same way about. This kind of just it's product, it's content. It's not really what music is about. Music is about expression and this kind of thing. But that is not for me to decide. It's that everyone, the listener is the judge, and the performer is the judge. So it's not maybe for me to say, but I do have quite strong opinions on it because I just
no, that's absolutely fair, and there's the threat of AI in general, like it might wipe us out one day and all that. I'm reading a book about it, but anyway, I think we've got sidetracked, Jack. What have you been talking about here? So it's about you writing a script for a game, right?
Helping to write the script. So
hang on, is the game released or is it in beta testing?
It's released, so it got released about 3 weeks ago. So it's actually Soulstone Survivors 1.0 because the game hadn't existed before.
Is it in early access or is it like complete?
You get it on Steam and stuff. I can send you a link.
You can buy it on Steam, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's for all I can gather, that people think it's great. I mean, it has an incredibly loyal following of players.
I'll put the link. I'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, my job was to basically edit that opening scene. That was a real tough one because I had no idea what it would look like, and we had to kind of weave enough lore into the line so that the player feels that there is some depth without alienating them. So it's a very fine line between sort of welcoming someone into a world and actually just pushing them away because it's too dense.
It's too much,
but it also has to weave in naturally into the dialogue. And so you would say things like, instead of saying, we need to, hurry, let's get to the portal. There's a portal that opens into the dark world. You would then say a line like, no need to hurry. We've waited a millennia for this moment. A few more seconds will not matter. It's just something just to kind of dip the toe in the idea that we have to communicate. This has been going on for years, and to give the sense of age to the story.
Yeah. And that's lovely because you've got all these expressions in the English language that you can sort of play with it and twist it in a way that it gives you this feel and this atmosphere and this vibe of.
And we had to
suck the player in the story.
So the idea is sort of immerse them to give them some level of states that were going on and some sort of geography of where they are and where they're going and who they are, and you can sort of pick which character you want to be, and as you progress through the game, you can unlock other characters. So there are, I believe it's 20 actually. I'm fairly sure it's 20 characters, tons, and each of them have different lines, and the lines reflect the character. We didn't want one line to be repeated 20 different people.
Of course.
The only lines they repeat are the prayer that they do. They have a kind of mantra that they all say, which is kind of it's like through the darkness we rise, and through the great void we must.
Yeah, that's how you connect the story and the characters. It makes sense to have a prayer, the same prayer.
So you have different characters, and each character had a backstory with a certain faction that they followed, a kind of religion that had its own mythology. I mean, seriously, Mauricio, my God, the amount of bloody work that guy put in.
I like how you said "my God" as well.
It's seriously, well, he made it. He's amazing, and he had a backstory for everyone. So for example, there was a character called the Pyromancer, who's a sort of crazy sort of fire woman. So we
fire wizard, fire sorcerer, warlock.
so lower lines that were kind of very flamey and burn and all these kind of things. We had to make sure that the lines reflected. And there was a Beastmaster who kind of has like a wolf kind of cowl on, and
nature guy.
Yeah,
like,
so he talks much more in terms of nature. And then there was a shaman, and there's a knight, and a sort of paladin, and his lines were very like really sort of cheesy and like overly optimistic and all this kind of thing. And so they had to then get the voice actors. So they sent their feelers out and said, we're doing auditions for voices.
So you had to pass an audition.
I did, yeah. I said, Alan, I've got a bit of experience, with my soundtrack. I did a few shouts and screams and stuff. And I said, if you want anyone to do anything, I can, I might be able to help. And he said, well, we're actually going to ask you anyway. I was like, that's amazing.
You are good at this. You always.
Yeah,
I should do more of this myself. Hey, I'm here, everyone. Do you want to hire me? Do you want to, do you want me on your podcast? That's very clever. Very clever.
I just don't agree with. I've waited too long. Opportunities don't come to you unless you're very lucky.
Yeah. You need. Sometimes you need to push.
Yeah, but he did actually say we were going to ask you anyway, which was lovely. So I said, okay, fine. He said, yeah, you still got to do the audition. So I said, all right, fine. So they gave me a few characters to do.
How many?
It was 5. I had to do the paladin. Okay. I had to do these. The paladin was a kind of like you were given sort of criteria you had to follow. So the paladin was like super hopeful, devout, and sort of very optimistic. And then I had to be an assassin that was Arabic. There was all kind of whispers and a bit sneaky. And then I had to do a shaman, which is, I have no idea why they asked me to do that, because it was sort of tribal, very deep. And I don't have a very deep voice. I had to study how to deepen your voice. There is a technique to do where you lower the jaw and you breathe a certain way. And I had to do that. And that took ages to get that. I did a pirate and another knight, some kind of very strict knight and stuff. So I had to send all these in. It was about 10
So
lines.
they chose you for like the deeper voices, or
No,
the characters that were supposed to have deeper voices, or
they chose me for the pirate, which is, to be honest, I've always had I was always been quite interested in pirates. I was the Hollywood pirates, not real pirates, because as I learned very late, real pirates were awful human beings. That did unspeakable things. It's like Vikings. People, they're so cool, but not really. They sort of raped and murdered everyone. Really,
like those Greyjoys from the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not an aspirational thing.
No,
is it?
But there's certain sort of beauty about it, right? Or
I like
something to admire about it.
I like the carefree swagger of it, but when you're, I could definitely send you some
glorified. It's a glorified character, pirate, basically.
Yeah. But so I got the pirate, and then they asked me to do the machinist, machinist.
So that's the one you sent me the MP3s for, right?
I sent you the MP3 of the pirate and the machinist.
So I can actually play it here on the podcast. So
go for it.
The machinist is one of the characters then. So this is
the machinist is it's a bit quieter than the pirate, I'll just warn you. But the machinist is a gnome that is an inventor.
So gnome is like a little dwarf, right? A gnome. It's kind of like a dwarf.
Kind of a gnome is like a kind of
garden dwarf or something.
It's kind of dwarves are more like mountains. Gnomes do live in the mountains actually. In this story they do. So they're kind of like mechanic mountain dwellers that build lots of stuff and whatever. Anyway, so he's built.
When you say mechanic, they're actually not human. They don't have a human sort of DNA or mechanic.
No, they do. So they are a gnome and a robot.
Okay.
So the gnome kind of climbs up into the robot and gets
I see. And then they start riding it. Okay, so here is the machinist, aka Jack.
Please leave the area. Would all creatures who are not snowmen please leave the area? Would all creatures who are not snowmen please leave the area? Would all creatures who are not...
Oh, it's on loop. It's actually on loop. I was wondering what was happening there.
There's a couple of other there's a couple of other lines.
And there's another one here.
New battlefield, same objective. Crush enemies, collect soulstones. New battlefield,
It's gonna continue in the same way.
done. It's time. Void King, come and meet Prototype 8.7. Doom Edition.
That's pretty good, actually.
Access granted. Let's shut the whole thing down.
You really enjoyed that one. So when do we hear these? So this is like during the game. This is what the characters say, yeah.
So as you're sort of whirling around this map, and smashing waves of enemies and picking up the thing, the certain, I think when certain encounters happen, the voices are triggered that to kind of push you along the narrative, like, oh, look at that, you know.
And those characters only say it once or multiple times?
Well, they can say it multiple times. They have,
times.
I mean, they have 160 lines each or 157 lines each, but
some of them must be like unique, right? Some of them must be unique.
What do you mean? Do you mean like
lines? Because like I can also imagine if I'm playing some sort of strategy game in which whenever you point the character to go in a certain direction, they will say something like follow the lead, or I don't know, as you command, something like that. So that will always repeat. But this is not that kind of voice, right?
No, you get, when you get a power up, you get a voice, but there's various options that you can have. So there's, you know, you won't get the same 5 lines again. There's a wide range of them, and
so that's very unique. A lot of work for you as well. A lot of work.
It was an unbelievable amount of work. It was something like 50 hours script.
How many takes? So how many takes did it take you to record one of these?
So we had to record the first 50 lines, and we had to send them for the sound guy. Guillermo, he had to listen to them all. I mean, God no, that guy's head must have just been pulped by the end of that. But he had to listen to them all and then give feedback.
So he said to you, for instance, well, I don't like this one so much. Can you re-record it? Did he say that?
Can you redo it? Can you, maybe lower, maybe whatever. So with the machinist,
Okay.
So the pirate one was fairly okay.
Okay, let me play that. Let me play that as well.
You can maybe compare them.
Even a tree's got teeth out here. Come and try me. Even a tree's got teeth out here. Your altar's crumbling, you lumbering git. Your altar. Show me your teeth so I can knock 'em out. Show me your teeth so I can knock 'em out.
That's no statue.
No, that's a different one. Yeah, okay, and there's some more.
Hey, legends aren't born. They're carved in corpses, King. Hey, legends are... Open sesame. Hello. Open sesame.
He's trying to open a door or something, or it's like the password you would give, to open a door, right, or a gate or something. Yeah.
So
legendary, like me.
That's when he gets a power up or something.
Yeah. He's that's amazing. So we had to write the lines for the voice, and when we got the voice actors back, so a lot of them would bring their own spin on it, just like I did with the pirate. I mean, I think what they wanted with the pirate was this sort of slightly drunk, guy. What I wanted was you have to sort of find the voice. It's really bizarre. You have to, sometimes it can be one little thing that just suddenly
like lights
up the character for you. But you might spend like an hour just kind of jumping around, or like you might hunch or like use your body and all this kind of thing until you've got this. You might say a line in one way and you're like, that's the character. And for the pirate, it was he had to be, because pirates are generally sort of from Cornwall or from Ireland, and if you're going to go down the like Cornish way, you're going to be a lower voice there. But I thought a drunk Irish sort of smuggly, squirrely Irish guy that likes shiny things. I
Did
thought,
you actually go to an Irish pub for some inspiration?
I know I have Irish friends.
To drink Guinness in order to get it right.
It was the idea. The idea of sort of, you know, looking around the room like this all the time, looking for things to take, shiny things everywhere. And he got more like that, like a kind of almost like an old man, rag and bone man. I thought that would be far more fun to do. So I ended up doing that. But
I
he's
love
also
it.
crazy. So there was that. And a drunk sort of, you know, you haven't, instead of saying sail, you say share, because it's like, you know, he's a bit drunk, isn't he? So
Yeah,
I thought that would be, and he was a hell of a lot of fun to do. It's fairly easy. There were a couple of
So-
directions that they wanted different.
So am I right in saying that this was by far the most enjoyable part of working on this game?
The pirate that was because I wrote. I had sort of free reign with his character for writing
Okay.
the line as
Okay,
well.
so you had a lot
they
of
had
freedom.
a lot anyway. But I said try doing this and try doing that.
Nice, nice.
So that
That's
was
lovely. So now after this, like so your voice will be in the game. So have you?
Yeah,
so
no,
have
it is. Yeah, you
played
can
the
hear.
game actually? Have you played the game yourself? And
I've been so busy with stuff, but
you haven't played it.
No, I've looked
So
at
you
the
have
video.
to play it at some point to hear yourself, right? Like
I've been watching videos, but there's
you've been
nothing.
watching videos from the game. Okay.
Yeah, so I've seen one of the machinist. There's none of the pirates yet because I think you have to. He's called the Cursed Captain in the game, but yeah,
Nice.
so but he's you have to unlock him to get there. But yeah, he was by far the most fun because I just kind of got into it. But I had to do the parrot as well. He has this like talking parrot. Now it's really hard to do because it's like high up. The machinist was really hard. It was just unbelievably difficult because they had to lower the voice to make it sound like it's coming through a robot.
Yeah,
And
I can see it's like also like edited in some sound
yeah,
editing.
if I was to talk like that all the time, I'd just I'd rip my vocal cords pieces.
Yeah,
So
don't do that.
no. So what they did was they said keep your voice at a normal pitch, but we're gonna slow it down, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well that's fine. So I was like, what accent do you American or whatever? And they were like, just do whatever. And I was like, okay, so I tried American, and that sounds really menacing with a low drop.
Yeah.
Like you know, what have we got here? It's really quite like worrying. So I had to do an English accent, but the thing is, if you slow it down, all the rounded vowels are accentuated in a lower frequency. So, for example, if I said out, it would sound like out, and it sounds really Cockney. So
you have to drop the T as well, I think.
Yeah. So, and I had to say them slower because they said because they had to drop the frequency so much. There's something to do with the rendering. They had to speed it up a bit. So I had to say it slower. They had to drop the frequency to a low frequency and then speed it up.
Wow.
I had to. It was really technical. So I had to. So eventually, what I did was I thought if I sound like a World War II fighter pilot, because if you listen to people from the 40s, they speak in a different register. So the tongue is higher in the mouth, and all the vowel sounds are higher and less rounded.
More posh as well. Like,
yeah, and all the consonants are much more clipped.
Like high class.
Yes. So, you know, it was only sort of around the 70s that lower, the jaw starts dropping and the Americanization comes in and there's all this sort of thing and like punk. It was the 60s.
This is cool, Jack. But wait a minute. So is this your first job like this that you've ever done? Because you said it was on your bucket list, but the way you've done this and how you're talking about it and what you had to go through, it sounds like you've mastered it, right?
No, I'm learning. It was a real learning curve, but no, it's the first one.
So that's just the first. That's the first.
Yeah.
You just open the door of a brand new world, possibly, right?
Yeah.
It's on your CV now. And
it is.
Who knows? Maybe next time we will hear you in GTA or something like that.
It would be great to do a cartoon or something that was more like a dialogue rather than monologue. It would be great to do a dialogue thing. But it's a lot of fun, and you realize just how hard voice acting is. It's really hard because you have to inject the words. This is how I approached it anyway. You have to the word you say has to be injected with the emotion that you feel for it. So instead of saying, "This is my cat," how do you feel about the cat? Well, then you have to put the feeling into the word cat.
Yeah.
And that communicates to the audience who can't see what your emotions are, basically. So it's really, it's quite tiring. It's very focused, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I had a great time doing it.
Sounds like fun. Yeah. Nice one, Jack. Wow. Okay. So once again, if people want to play this game and hear Jack in it via multiple different characters, the name of the game is
Soulstone Survivors 1.0.
Soulstone Survivors. So there's an alliteration as well. Soulstone Survivors. I like it. So is it a soul? What's there's a genre even, right? Like soul games, Soulstone games, or what's the genre?
No idea what it's called.
There is a name for that. So
it is. I can. Do you know what?
Dark Souls, it was like a dark fantasy action role-playing series, and then soul-like games. It's like a genre because when you're like browsing through categories on Steam, the games of different categories, like strategy games. One of the tags is soul-like.
This is roguelite. It's called.
Whenever you have the word soul in the name of the game, I assume it's going to be one of those games.
It's called a roguelite game. Roguelite.
Oh wow, roguelike as well. Roguelike as well. Wow. Okay, that's I like roguelike games. By the way, they are tougher because you die. When you die, you have to start over.
From what I've heard, this is it's a very challenging game. I mean, it's definitely not. It's definitely not a badly designed game. It's
nice. No, you wouldn't take part in anything that is badly designed. That's for sure.
They've definitely there's a lot of love in the game. I mean, from working with the team and speaking to them and whatever. I mean, they really do.
How many people are in the team then?
It's pretty small. I think it's like 12 or something. I mean, my team.
Wow.
So I know sort of 4 of them. Actually, I've met quite a lot of them over the years, but I think it's probably about 12. It's a pretty small team, but they have like extra people and stuff that they bring in, like me, freelancer. And
nice one. But, nice one. Well, Jack, I'm curious. What am I gonna talk to you? Let's say 1 year or 2 years down the line. What will be next? Because I for some reason I think it's gonna be something completely different, but creative as well.
I hope so.
You might start your own podcast. Who knows?
I don't have the patience. I've been thinking about. I definitely like to write a book. That's on my bucket list.
Like Kieran.
Yeah, like a fiction. I don't know. Is his book fiction?
I think it is fiction, but some of the characters, I think it's like it's inspired by real life stories. But I think it's fiction. Yeah.
Most fiction.
It's actually a series of short stories. It's like a short story book.
Great.
Yeah. It's short stories, but it's pretty cool. You should read it.
I will.
Really good. I recommend it.
Great. So I would like to do that. I think then I might be doing another soundtrack for a board game. It's like set in ancient Rome, but we haven't. It's not confirmed yet. I just spoke to the company and they said we'd really like you to do it. But
I'm now I've been developing another board game, a different one. It's a deck builder, and I wonder how you could get involved in that.
Well, maybe I could. I mean, if it's a deck builder, does it have a board or is it just cards?
It's mostly just cards. Yeah, it doesn't have. It's like there's like a board, but you don't need the board. It's more like
Can I just say, you always need a board.
There is a board. There's a board, but it's like it's not as important as for other games.
But I have a game that's absolutely. It's so good. It's called Vampire Empire. It's a card game, and it's basically this 2-player game.
Yeah.
One of you there's a group of people, and one of you is a vampire and one of you is a human, and you don't know which people are vampires or humans, and you just
Okay.
play cards to kind of challenge each other to test who is what.
It's a
And
social
then-
deduction game, a little
Kind
bit.
of, yeah, but it's between two people, which is an amazing
Ah.
concept.
Okay.
And I love it, and I love the art. I love the game design. It's brilliant. However,
Okay.
I just wished it had a board, just to
Mm.
place the cards, just for some
Yeah.
sense of geography.
I
sense-
understand. I understand. Yeah, yeah.
I just for someone who's, but to me, but board games are a visual medium. So
Yeah.
what it is.
My game is a deck builder, and you have like first of all, everybody has a mental health track. So that's like one mini board, and then there is also a big board with like, because this game is a deck builder where you are an English learner passing exams. So in this, it shows you like which exams you've passed and what bonus you've taken, and that's
It's
what
a
the board.
deck builder to,
It's a deck builder, so it's inspired by Dominion actually.
and
Dominion.
you are an English student that is trying to pass. an
Everybody is a English student. I think you should. I think I need to get
Yeah.
you to play it, man, because I think you would like the vibe of it, because you are an English teacher too. Basically, it's not like some people get the wrong impression when they hear me explain this. They think it's an English learning game, that they will learn English through the game. No, it's just a deck builder game with the theme of English or
so
any
interesting.
language learning, basically.
Is
And
it-
you are passing exams like A1, A2. You want to get to C2.
Can you
And-
do? Is there IELTS in it?
No.
Right. Okay. Because there's a chance for some good satire with IELTS. Because
No, it's not like that. It's just
that's such an interesting.
you need to see it. You need to see it. I think it's not too bad. Like, I think it's all right. Like, the people that have played it, nobody really like gave me some bad feedback. You know, it's just my only question is it replayable enough? Yeah. So that's something I'm still trying to work on, because to balance all the cards, there are a lot of cards in the game. So to balance all the cards is the biggest challenge, you know.
Yeah. It's like
Some cards seem to be more popular than others, and then people want to get them.
I'd really like to see it. That would be.
Yeah,
that would
I'll
be
show you.
interesting.
I'll show you.
I don't know how you would soundtrack that, but there's always a way. There's always a way. But
Probably not a soundtrack, but maybe you could get involved in some other way. To be honest, like, my problem is that I have a lot of these ideas, and even I make it into a state where people even play it, but then how can I get it further? Right? When it starts to like monetizing it, I always give up, because I just don't know what to do. or maybe I'm not good at like surrounding myself with the right kind of people who would help me with that.
There's a theory that a lot of artistic types end up addicts, taking drugs, drinking, whatever, and the reason is that because they're always so disappointed that they can't achieve the level of success that they sort of are worthy of, because they just don't have that killer instinct, the marketing.
I don't. This is
my
problem.
Business and this sort of thing, that they end up just drinking themselves just to kind of just get out of it, because it's so depressing.
What happens to me is that I keep sort of like working on the game and sort of like fall in love with it, and then I overdo it. Like, I make it way too complex, add too many cards, but I should be like more cutthroat about it. Like if I don't need this card in the game, what is it actually doing? Nothing. Out, you know. And I need someone like that would team up with me and help me publish this game, because I think the idea is pretty cool and the theme is good. But I mean, you need to see it. You will see.
I would love to see it. I think the rule is that if you're doing it more for yourself than the player,
no,
you've lost it. Then you've lost your way.
Of course. No. I always want. Now, whenever I make a game, the biggest criterion for me, if it's good or not, is do people actually enjoy playing it?
Yeah.
Do they want to play it again? And I've had people who wanted to play it again. I've had people who didn't want to play it again. But then again, these people are often spoiled for choice, because they can play so many games, and you are competing against like well-known games, right? So like it's like any new person that tries my game is really valuable for me to see. Like,
I would love to. I would love to see it. I'd definitely give you some.
It's on Tabletop Simulator, so whenever.
Cool. Oh, thank
There's a
you.
bit of private conversation for you, listeners of Zdenek's English podcast. That happens on this podcast too sometimes. I think it's actually interesting because it makes it very authentic podcast. Jack, I want to thank you for your appearance, for your comeback, and wish you all the best with your future endeavors, whether it's with voice acting or script writing or soundtrack making, you name it. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Zdenek. It's great to see you, mate.
Yeah.
And I'll be playing your game soon.
Nice one. Take care, everyone. And don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, to smash the like button. All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.